Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about the 4 R's of connection that help prevent challenging behavior and help build stronger relationships. These are tools that you can use every day. The first R is rapport building or connecting before you direct. In my field, we call this pairing because we are actively pairing ourselves with positive associations. These can be things like kind words, encouragement, or just a genuine interest in the things that your child is saying and doing. Pairing is something that should happen every single day, or else we might fall into the trap of only noticing our child's behavior when they're misbehaving or not following through with the expectations that they have of them, that we have of them. There's a neuroscientist, Dr. Jack Pensep, who identified three key parts in a child's day, which are natural transitional states in which your child is most vulnerable and more open to those positive, loving interactions from a caregiver. So these we call this the 3-3-3 method because it comprises the first 3 minutes after waking up, the first 3 minutes when they get home from school or daycare, and the last 3 minutes of their day before they go to bed. So you can kind of see where this is going. The first 3 minutes when they wake up, it sets the tone for their day. So if you're rushing, if we're impatient, that sort of sets the tone for how the rest of their day might go. So maybe trying, a hug, a gentle word. If you know your child likes extra snuggles that day, maybe you're making time for those extra snuggles and waking them up a little bit early. The 3 minutes after they get home, you might notice that there's an increase in your child's challenging behaviors. Maybe you're seeing more tantrums or more whining. And that's totally natural because there's an emotional processing happening. They're coming back from a full day of instructions at school, of social interactions, and this is their time to decompress and to just let go of their day, right? So, in those, when they're getting back from school, let's not start off with the tough questions. Maybe we're just having a silent ride home. Maybe you're letting your child come to you and start that conversation. Or maybe you're asking more open ended, easier questions to lead into a good conversation. And the last 3 minutes before bed is a time to end their day, to calm and connect before they go to bed. It's a time for storytelling. It's a time for, discussions. It's a time for reassurances before they go to sleep. I'd like to think of these as sacred touch points throughout their day, right? So if you think about the Angelus bells that draw us back into a state of awareness for our day, this is similar to that. It's a guideline for how you can incorporate rapport building and pairing naturally into your routine of the day and bring that awareness back. Remind your child that they are seen, that you love them, and that you're here for them to talk with them and to guide them and encourage them. This is a great starting point. Try it at home, see how it works, and let me know how it goes. The second R stands for rituals and routines. Once you've mastered the 3-3-3 schedule, look for other ways to build little rituals of connection throughout your day. When you build these into your daily routine, it gives your child something to count on, even in the stressful times. These mini rituals can really be anything. They can be a blessing, they could be words of affirmations that you say in front of the mirror together, a prayer that you do as a family before you leave and do your separate things, a secret handshake. It could be anything. The point is that you're building in these other little moments of connection throughout your day, and it's a consistent, predictable activity that you're doing with your kids. Science shows that just spending 5 to 10 minutes of focused child led play a day can really help reduce the power struggles down the road. And that could be after school, where one parent is taking the kids and they're going to the park or they're doing some play in the backyard. After dinner, it's mom's turn to take the kids and you're reading a book or you're just playing a game that they choose, or it's the whole family together. The kids are getting to choose an activity that they want to play, and we're there together. No screens, no phones, just us, our kids, focused play, family time, and moments of connection together. So try that. That's pretty easy as well. And it doesn't have to be something so rigid. It's fun. You guys get to play some games together. And if you can't do one-to-one time, do it as a group. If you have more than one kid, do it as a group and let them take turns picking the activity that they want to play. The third R is regulation, and it involves self-regulation, but also co-regulation. You might have heard of the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. But the full saying actually comes from writer Eleanor Brown, and it goes something like this. Rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. Most people usually focus on this last part of the quote, but in reality, it's the overflow that is important. It's this overflow that leads to effective co-regulation. And you might be wondering, well, what exactly is co-regulation? It's the warm and responsive interactions that a caretaker provides, which is supporting, coaching, and modeling for a child to learn, to understand, express, and modulate their own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. As you can imagine, it's hard to co-regulate when your cup is half full. If you have a screaming, crying toddler, that half-filled cup is going to get depleted very, very quickly. So knowing where you are in terms of your regulation, what it is that you need to be that calm, confident adult is a really important first step. Also, you can kind of see how pairing with your child is an important prerequisite because a positive parent-child relationship that's consistently and predictably worked on can help build connection that can help in these dysregulated moments. It'll feel really unnatural to your child when you try to connect in moments that are challenging, when it's not something that's predictably and reliably done during calm moments. You can co-regulate really by doing the following things. So, as I mentioned, the first thing you need to do is check in and regulate yourself first. So, what is it that you need to be that calm, confident leader? Do you need to walk away? Do you need to take some deep breaths? Do you need to ground yourself before you can go and deal with the situation on hand? The second step, look at the situation and let the situation tell you what needs to be done. So is your child hurt? Is it something that they want that they can't have right now? Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they tired? Knowing what it is your child needs in that moment can help you co-regulate, but also self-regulate before going in to try to solve that problem. If you know that they're hungry and thirsty, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to self-regulate because you know exactly what that solution is. If you understand that they're not giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time because they want something that's not available right now, maybe that's going to help you regulate yourself a little bit easier because you can see, okay, there's a solution that I can try that can possibly work. It gives you a little bit of that control back in situations that might feel a little bit out of control. If you can, include them within the solution, depending on their age. Giving them choices can help provide a sense of control back to your child. If, for example, they want something that they can't have in that moment, they might feel a loss of control. But if you tell them, hey, your brother's playing with that toy right now, but you can read a book with mommy, or we can go and play this game together while we wait, which one do you want? It gives them back some of that control. If they've hurt themselves, giving them a choice between two types of band-aids maybe. If your child is a little bit older, you can ask them what they think might be a good solution and then praise their thought process. Wow, that's a really good compromise. I love how you came to that solution. Tell me how you got there. This also helps them think through the problem, and in future situations, it gives them a good model of how they can approach challenging situations. Being close to your child, physical proximity is always a great way to diffuse a situation. A hug, a hand on the back. Sometimes they just need a silent, caring adult beside them, right? I have a 3-year-old, and you can't say anything to her when she's having one of her big tantrums. You just have to be there, let it run its course, and in her time, she will come and ask me for a hug. That's okay too. And remembering to modify and modulate your own tone of voice and your own physical demeanor. So if you have a calm tone, if you have, a relaxed, open body, that's signaling to your child that they are safe, that you are a calm, confident, caring adult that's there to help them. When you're regulated, it's going to help their nervous system regulate, and that is co-regulation. There's a really good visual that I'll include, and it essentially says when your calm meets their storm, that's when co-regulation happens. But that co-regulation cannot happen if you are a dysregulated adult. So the R of regulation is really important in this framework of connection, and it's something that we might need to work on outside of our interactions with our children, focusing on what it is that I need to fill my cup so that I'm overflowing with enough calm to pass it along to my children. The last R is repairing. We had talked earlier about building rapport and pairing ourselves with positive associations. And in the same way, when we are working through challenging situations, it's natural that the relationship might fracture in some ways, especially if we are following through with something that we've said, if we are providing correction, or if we lose our cool. Maybe we haven't regulated, maybe we haven't been good co-regulators, and it's bound to happen. We're humans and we're just trying to do our best. So when this happens and this fracture occurs, the R is about repairing the relationship and repairing the fracture that might have been caused through this strain that's happened. And this could be done in many ways. The main way is just apologizing. It's acknowledging where you went wrong and apologizing to your child for the mistakes that you have made. This is a great way to model an apology, and it's a great way to teach your children a few things. One, that adults can make mistakes too. Two, that it's okay to make mistakes. And three, that when we make mistakes and cause harm, we can apologize and we can find ways of fixing the harm that we might have caused. So as parents, the first step is to just reflect on what went wrong. Identify the problem. Was it that you were not able to self-regulate? Was it that there was a confusion about the boundary or the expectation that you had? Was there some confusion about the follow through? Maybe one parent said yes and the other one said no. There was a miscommunication of some sort that caused this behavior to occur. So identifying what the issue was, and if it wasn't a mistake on your part, owning up to it and apologizing to your child. I don't see this happening enough, and it's something that I always tell parents and other adults as well. We have to model the behaviors that we want to see. If your child knows that you had done something wrong, it's fine to own up to it. It doesn't reduce or diminish our role as a parent. In fact, it only strengthens it. We're going to say, hey, I yelled at you and that was not okay. I'm the adult. I know that I can come and talk to you. And next time I'm going to try that first. I'm sorry if I yelled. I'm sorry if I used mean words or if my tone was unkind. And I hope that you can forgive me. I'm going to try to do better next time. It's as simple as that. So repairing, once that fracture has happened, we have to repair ourselves with these positive associations. Yet again, like I said, pairing should happen every day, but especially when there's been a rift of some sort. If there's been an argument of some sort, we never let those arguments just stay that way. We always want to try to repair ourselves with the positive associations and repair the relationship so that we're starting off from a strong foundation for the future. So I hope these things have been helpful. Feel free to put your questions down below and subscribe for more content like this. God bless.